What is up, Video Tribe? It's your girl Naja here, and I'm back with another video. So I know I told myself and you guys that I'm only doing one story time a week now because I don't want to tell all of my stories and stuff like that, and I want to keep my little story time segment going, and because my life is so chill and shit, that shit doesn't really be happening. But then I out of nowhere just remembered this whole scenario, and in my opinion, I'm still gonna consider it a call center story time. It did not happen at the call center, but it does have to do with employees at Ratchet Corp. So I kind of want to just, you know, trickle that on in there. And I was like, you know what, before I forget, I want to just like tell you guys a story, because I'm gonna be so mad if I forget about it when it's time for me to shoot a story time next week. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I really appreciate how you guys like the responses that I got from that video that I did about how when I had smoked recently for the first time in years, I was expecting like way more of a backlash, and it's really cool that you guys are really cool about it and that you weren't like trying to call me like a hypocrite or anything like that, and I really do appreciate that. Might as well just bless y'all with another video this week about how I saw, like, he wasn't like a CEO or anything. They were mainly like the brand managers or like marketing managers for Ratchet Corp getting fucked up, bitch. Like, they were getting throwed. So I'm just gonna get right into this story time. If you guys like this channel, if you fuck with me, if you like my story times, if you like anything I do, please give this video a big thumbs up. It means a lot to me. If you guys are fans of the call center series, you guys know it is coming to a close. I'm pretty much scraping up stories as I go, like I've been saying for the past, what, like 10 videos now. Oh, and make sure that you guys are subscribed. YouTube loves to unsubscribe people from channels, and also make sure that notification bell is hit. We post every Wednesday through Sunday at 2 p.m. I hope you guys are having an awesome Sunday right now. Yeah, if you're watching this in the future, I hope you're having a good whatever the fuck day of the week it is while you're watching this. So for starters, as some of you guys know, me and my boyfriend met each other because he did Uber. So I knew Daniel from Uber because my car got fucked up. Long story, there's a whole fucking hour and 45 minutes, damn near 2-hour story time movie about why my car was fucked up. So if you guys know, you know, but if you don't, it's not really crucial to this story. So Daniel was doing Uber at the time, and I was still working at Ratchet Corp, and I did not have a car yet. This is a point in time where I did not have a car. I did eventually get a car while Daniel was doing Uber, but this just wasn't that period of time. Sometimes Daniel would ask if I wanted to go with him on Uber trips. So basically, you know, I would be in the car with him and he would just turn the app on, and if somebody wanted to get a ride, he would basically call them up and be like, hey,
is it cool if my girlfriend is in the car, blah, blah, blah.
Usually they would like literally, I think only one person said no. Like, I don't ever remember anybody saying no, but I do remember specifically one dude saying no because he probably thought he was about to get set up to get robbed or some shit. I don't blame him. I would feel kind of sketchy too if somebody called me and was like, hey, yeah, so there's about to be another person in this car. And actually, I think that's like against Uber rules, to be honest, but Daniel really did not give a fuck when he was an Uber driver, because he was like, he's such like a social person, and he's such like a talkative person, and people really like him, so they just don't care. Like, he never got like a bad rating for that, for having another person in the car. So, you know, he would ask me to come with him. We have tons of Uber stories and shit. Daniel and I are gonna start a podcast on our channel, because it's hard. And I know this is kind of like sidetracking a little bit, but it's kind of hard because it's like, yeah, we want to do stuff on YouTube as a couple, but we also don't want to be like that cliche ass like pranks and like, we don't want to be like that. Like, we just want to like be able to sit down, have real ass conversations, you know, maybe play some games, maybe have some like subscriber call-ins, stuff like that. And we just decided, like, you know, Daniel loves watching podcasts, so do I, and we were like, you know, we might just do a podcast, and like a podcast once a week, and that'll just be easier on both of us to do or whatever. But I just got completely sidetracked. I don't even know why I started talking about the fucking podcast plan right now. But, you know, Daniel and I have tons of, that's why, because Daniel and I have tons of stories with Ubers. We picked up these bitches from, well, I'm not gonna call them bitches because they're somebody's mommies. And these housewives, we picked up some housewives from the Rihanna concert, and they were drunk and they were telling us how they sucked their husband's eggplant emoji for fruit snacks for the kids. Like, we picked up prostitutes before. It's been a lot. Like, we have been through some real Uber Chronicles, bitch. So that will be on the podcast, but this is the one Uber Chronicle that was just funny because we ended up picking up some dudes from Ratchet Corp and high up in Ratchet Corp. Basically in Jacksonville, the hot Uber spots to get the most money, like when the surge is going on, was the airport, downtown, and Jacksonville Beach and Ponte Vedra or whatever. So there would be times on the weekend where, you know, I would ride with Daniel and we would go downtown, or, well, okay, so on the weekends, we would go to Jack's Beach at like, you know, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, because that's when people are leaving the bars. It really sucks. Like in Jacksonville, all the bars here close at 2 o'clock. I know in other places, the bars be closing at like fucking 4 or 5 in the morning. Not here. They're trying to minimize all the all the drunk shenanigans as much as possible. So, you know, we went there at around like 2 o'clock, and we mainly will just like ride in circles or whatever and just wait for, you know, some shit to hit. The person who we had picked up from the beach actually needed to go further towards downtown. So we were like, okay, we're already by downtown. We might as well just go downtown and go to the bars in Riverside and stuff and see who needs a ride there, because like in actual downtown Jacksonville, there's not really shit to do to like get turned up or drunk or anything. Shit, you might see some homeless people turning up. Like shit, Daniel and I, when we were on our Uber Chronicles, we definitely turned up with some homeless people before. Like no shade, bro. Like I'm telling you guys, that shit's gonna be so funny. I'll post it on the community section of my channel, like when it's time for you guys to go check out the podcast, because that shit's gonna be funny as hell. We're just trying to buy equipment and shit right now. Anyway, getting sidetracked. There's this little place called Riverside in Springfield. It's like gentrified as fuck. Like that used to be where the homeless people turned up, but then all the white people moved in and they got all their little, that's like where like your hipster bitches live at, you know, like, you know, her job, she might be a librarian, you know, or maybe she works in the cannabis field, or maybe she works at a coffee shop, she works at a Starbucks, you know, she has a husky. Like those are the type of people that live there. You know, she has vintage glasses, and you know, she drinks tea on her patio in a house that's 100 years old, but it's aesthetic. Like those are the type of people that live there. And mind you, I'm not trying to be rude. I think people like that are fucking dope, and I love seeing houses there, even though it's kind of sad because that whole area is like gentrified as fuck. But I don't have a problem with people who operate that way. I think it's cool. It's just weird when they try to act like they're the only ones that are like that, but that's what some hipsters do. But I think it's pretty cool how somebody can turn a 100-year-old house into something like, you know, modern. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going on a lot of tangents today. But so we were like, okay, let's go to the Riverside bars and try to pick up some hipsters. So that's also a place where a lot of people downtown who are businessmen will go and get drinks and stuff like that. But usually businessmen will go there at around what, like 5, 6 o'clock, get their happy hour on and then go home. So I was not expecting any of this shit to even go down. So we go to Riverside and we're just circling around, and finally Daniel gets a hit. And we're like, okay, it's some dude, we're gonna name him Bob. We pull up to the bar that Bob is at, we still can't find Bob, and it's not like, parking is not really accessible over there. So it's like, you're either gonna find a spot on the curb or you're about to be going in the loop, because it's like one street and then there's like a roundabout. So literally you're just gonna be going in a loop until the person comes out. So we're going in this loop, and Daniel's it wasn't a dickhead ass Uber driver. Like he'll wait on you as long as it's not like something like a crazy amount of time. Like no, we're not waiting no fucking 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, but he'll wait on you like 10, 15 minutes if you need to get your shit together. Like it's not that big of a deal. So finally Daniel called Bob and was like, hey
Bob, where you at? I'm at the bar, like what's going on?
And I just hear Bob on speakerphone like,
yo, all right, we're coming outside now. I didn't know. John, come on, Uber's here, John.
Oh, hell no, here we fucking go. Like, we're gonna have some of those, because sometimes we'll get like the rowdy ass drunks. Sometimes we'll get the drunks that feel like they're in a confessional. Sometimes we would get the drunks that just wanna cry. And sometimes we get the drunks that just wanna sleep in the back seat. Like, you never know what you're gonna get, but we got the rowdy ones tonight. So finally, Bob, and I'm guessing John, we're gonna call him John, walks up to the car and they get in the back seat, and you know, they're lit, like they're turned up, they're like, yeah,
oh my god, I love Florida, blah blah blah.
Like going ham. Daniel's like, okay,
I got your destination here, is this right?
And it was on JTB. If you are in Jacksonville, you know what JTB is. It's basically like a highway or whatever. But you guys know, like, that's like the main, like, where all the hotels are, where they're like business is at and shit. You get a hotel on JTB if you're staying somewhere for business. I don't know, that's just something that I've noticed. Or shit, if you're like me, if you were in high school, you and your friends got a cheap ass room at the La Quinta one a few times on JTB. But it's mainly like business people go there, like, and there's tons of little businesses around there too. They were like, oh yeah, we're going on JTB, and I looked at them and they had like suits on and shit, and I'm just like, oh okay, I must be here on business. So, you know, we're driving towards there. It's probably like a 10-minute ride, but because it's on surge, like Daniel's making some bread off them 10 minutes. So, you know, we're driving, and I just noticed that Bob and John are lit, but John is lit. Like, John is lit. Like, John is like vibing to the music. And mind you, they're like two like middle-aged white dudes, and like with their tight ass suits on, and they're just like vibing and shit. And you know, I'm laughing, and you know, Daniel's having a good time. He's turning up the music. So then Bob wants to start, you know, talking and shit to us. He's like, hey,
So, what do you do? Is Uber the only thing that you do?
Yeah, you know, it's good money, this is all I do. It really feels nice to be my own boss, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's cool, that's cool. What about you?
talking to me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I work at Ratchet Corp. Bob froze. Bob was like, oh
Yeah, well, what do you do?
I work at Ratchet Corp. I shit you not, that's exactly how he was. John, on the other hand,
Oh, Ratchet Corp? We work for Ratchet Corp too.
Bob is looking at him like, I didn't tell them my position at Ratchet Corp. And mind you guys, I looked really young back then. I was only like 19. Like, I looked very young. And I never would have guessed that they worked at Ratchet Corp, because the hotels at JTB are like nowhere near Ratchet Corp, but I just know like that's like the main business hub. Like, if you have somebody that's coming in to Jacksonville for business, you put them there. It's like a hop right on the highway, go where they need to be. But I just didn't expect them to be working at Ratchet Corp, because JTB was a little ways away from that. So Bob is looking shook. Bob looks like he's seen a damn ghost. John is excited because we all work at the same place, because Bob doesn't know what department I'm in or who I know there or what. And I was only 19. Like, I look like a little ass kid. Like, I don't see why he was spooked at all. But John was spilling the fucking beans.
Oh, wow, you work at Ratchet Corp? We work at Ratchet Corp too. We just flew in from Seattle, and we're about to do like a huge marketing thing with you guys. Like, yeah, we're about to partner with y'all. What's up? Like,
Oh, that's what's up. That's really dope. You know, I thought that we were already partnered with y'all. I had no idea. And Bob is just frozen. Bob is like, he hit him, bro. He was like, bro, like, stop. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, no, she's cool. She's cool.
And Bob just like leaned on the window and just looked out the window, like as if he's seeing his job flash before his eyes. Bob got sober as fuck so quick. He put his head on the window and was just like,
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
Turn that shit up. Turn that shit up.
oh my God. John is just back there vibing, like,
I like this song. I like this song.
I'm just like, oh my God. I'm just looking at this white dude rap every freaking lyric to this song with his tuxedo and his little briefcase, drunk as hell, while his coworker is on the window looking depressed. And we finally pull up to their hotel on JTB, and John is like,
Yo, you guys are awesome. I'm gonna give you 5 stars. I'm gonna take Bob's phone and give you guys 5 stars, and I will see you at work tomorrow.
well, actually, you know, you're probably going to Ratchet Corp corporate office and not like where I work. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
This was dope. Come on, Bob, let's go.
And Bob just opened the door and looked at us and was like,
Thank you for the ride.
and just like walked away. And like Daniel was like,
Yo, that dude was so, like, spooked that you work at Ratchet Corp. Like, he looked like he was about to lose his job.
and I'm like, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know who he thinks I am. Like, I don't have no pull at Ratchet Corp. I can't get you fired, sir. Especially, what, for having fun off the clock? Like, who could fire anybody for that? Well, I don't know, maybe because they were on a business trip and they were getting fucked up. That might be against the rules for Ratchet Corp. I'm not really sure. I've never been that privileged to be that high on the pyramid. But yeah, I really didn't see what was wrong with what they were doing. Like, they were having fun. John did not give a fuck. John, I have a feeling that John was either the newbie or he was an OG and just didn't give a fuck. But Bob was so sober, bruh. Like the second I was like, oh, I work at Ratchet Corp, he tightened the fuck up. Like I'm talking fixed his tie, stood up, sat back straight, and was just chilling, looking at freaking John wilding out like, bro, did you not just hear where this girl said she works at? Like what the fuck? If I were him, I would have just been like, oh, what position are you? And if I would have told him I'm customer service, he probably would have been like, oh, fuck it, turn that shit up. Like, you get what I'm saying? But he really looked spooked and shooketh. But I hope I did not ruin his night. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the time where I caught a higher up slipping off the clock. And you guys see why I said it's kind of a call center story time, but it's kind of not, because it did not happen in the call center, but it does have to do with Ratchet Corp. I have another story similar to that where one of my coworkers at Ratchet Corp saw one of my YouTube lives and thought that I was talking about somebody at Ratchet Corp that I wasn't, because before I left Ratchet Corp, I never talked about Ratchet Corp or the people at Ratchet Corp or the supervisors or nothing. But she assumed I did, and she assumed that who I was talking about was somebody who she had a crush on. If you guys want to see that, I'll put like a little info card here and you can click on it and watch it if you haven't seen it. It's pretty funny. It's kind of an older video though, but you can still appreciate it. But all right guys, that is pretty much it for this video. Sorry if it was a little bit short. It's probably around like the 15-minute mark. I'm psychic. Let me see. If I'm psychic, we're at the 15-minute mark. Pretty much it. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen a higher up getting crunk off the clock. Did you approach them? Did you leave them the fuck alone? Did you turn up with them? And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I will see you guys next week. Bye.